boots. My kids got holes in their shoes. You think with all the work I do, that ain't the way it be.
Well, the main part of the body is finally put together and protected from rust on all sides. It's ready to go back on its wheels. Thank you, rotisserie, you helped us a lot. But now we are concerned about the front. Since we widened the body by 5 cm, we need to widen the front panel as well. It's actually detachable, such a nice feature to have, but we decided to improve it even further by splitting it into 3 pieces. And thanks to this upgrade, it will be much stronger. However, since we are swapping in a longer engine, we need to leave some free space up front. And we would rather not extend the front panel any further forward, since that would ruin the car's proportions. So we came up with the solution, tilting the central part like this. At least it looks better, feels more aerodynamic and gives us the extra length we needed for the new engine. This is how we managed to increase its width and create connection points at the same time. Oh, and the hood got a little insert that made it wider too. Now the front panel looks like this. The slight tilt is a nice touch that doesn't hurt the looks at all. Actually, we were inspired by Jeep. It has a slightly tilted front grille and it looks nice. From the inside you can see the mounting points between the panels, which are easily accessible. The installation is incredibly easy. The panels have guides that let us place them perfectly on the first try, no jiggling wiggling required. It's about time to add more panels and doors.
My kids got holes in their shoes. You think with all the work I do, that ain't the way it be. I got bills past due and the power company. They ain't no fools, they don't take no IOUs. They're coming for me.
Once the windshield, frame, doors and central bar were in place, it started to look much more put together, especially with all these fresh welds. It makes us feel this body isn't as flimsy as it used to be. Now every freshly added piece needs to be coated with primer to prevent surface rust. Yes, in some spots we let ourselves use a brush. This is the moment when details matter. We need to think through all the small things that turn this roughly cut brick into a fully functional car. Like these metal strips for the door seals, which have to be curved at the corners. All this takes a lot of meticulous work and has to be well thought out. My dad is also feeling some major imperfections with body fillers, so painting is coming. Finally, all this sanding is done and we are almost ready to apply the first coat of primer. The amount of sanding was ridiculous. My approach to painting is fairly simple, because this is a simple car and won't be entering any car shows, but it has to be nice, clean and practical. We have a 2-part primer we used while building our custom bike and it performed really well. Please don't judge my technique too harshly. I know the spray pattern should be wide and the paint flow higher, but we have a really small air compressor, so I had to paint this way. And I'm an extremely patient person, didn't you know? Once the primer coat was on, we moved on to sanding, never-ending sanding. We had been choosing the body color for weeks and here is what we picked. It should be perfect, grayish-green, exactly what we need. But once we applied the first patch, we were underwhelmed. In real life it looked so childish. All our plans were ruined in a single moment. There was no way we could go ahead with this. To save the situation, we decided to mix it with a deep green we had from previous projects, but once we mixed them, they coagulated into a nasty sludge, so it was clear we had to change our color plans. Since we already had a lot of this cheerful paint, my dad decided to use it inside the car, where it will be covered with panels and upholstery so nobody will ever see this shame. While we were waiting for the new paint, I decided to change the oil in the air compressor, and here it is, blindingly white paint. Now this should work. And what can I say? That's exactly what this car needed. We even switched our reference to a Wrangler we came across online. The paint looks so good, it transformed this ugly duckling into something completely different. We didn't expect this result.
All that I can do is bring the money home. All that I can do is bring the money home.
But the show must go on, and we need more tools to finish the body.
I work 80 hours a week, roofing houses, parking cars at some fancy place downtown, with a shirt on and a bow tie.
We want to fabricate slightly more intricate shapes than it had originally. It has to be unique on the road. One such tool is a metal brake. It was made from C-channels, some rebar and a few bolts and springs. And you know what? It helped enormously throughout the whole process, but more on that later. First, we needed to make the roof. Definitely not an easy task, because we went with 0.8mm sheets and a frame to hold them. We thought that would be enough to keep the sheets straight and prevent wobbling. We also used seam sealer to hold them even better. It was a challenge to get the entire frame straight and aligned. Another tool we desperately needed is this handmade juggler, made from 4 old bearings. It improved our bodywork dramatically. Just look at the result, such a nice factory-like juggle. Have you noticed how far our garage has come during this project? From a stick welder to jugglers and metal brakes. And here is the result. The seam is hidden, but welded extremely well. But we gave up on the 0.8mm sheets and went for 1.2mm ones. It turned out to be impossible to make a flat roof with metal that thin without waves. Unfortunately. You know, it's good we changed our minds and did it this way. The roof turned out really straight and solid, and my dad went to the trouble again and formed these profiles on the sides, which made the roof look genuinely unique and custom. That was worth it. I haven't seen a roof like this anywhere. Unfortunately, autumn came, and we were forced to move the car into the garage. Of course, we need windows in the side panels, but first we had to come up with a frame for them. Once they were finished, we could finally make the side panels. The DIY frame will be welded from the inside, and check out the result. We are closer to the finish than ever before. The rear door, a very important part of our build. For one, we had to make it from scratch like so many other parts, and it has to hold the spare wheel.
Diesel in my blood, mud caked on my hands. Been up since the rooster tried to wake the dead. Foreman wants it faster, banker wants it now. Truck's running on a prayer and a quarter tank of gas, that's how I get fed. Don't you tell me to slow down, 'cause buddy, I've been busting my back since the day that I could stand. Pouring concrete, turning wrenches for $1 and a handshake. Now my hands don't close all the way, but I'll be damned if I'll complain. Long as there's a roof above your head and supper on the plate, I'll keep showing up the same. Long as there's supper on the plate, I'll keep showing up the same. Some fella in a tower never broke a sweat.
All the essentials are here: a nice door handle, a modern lock and a door seal. It closes extremely smoothly and feels really solid. You may have noticed the formed faces on the door. Our DIY metal brake helped us out again. This made the panel stronger and more solid, and it looks much nicer too. There are just a few small panels left to finish, and after that the rear can be considered complete. Of course, my dad went the extra mile once again and made some intricate shapes, as usual. But hey, the cherries on top, the front and rear bumpers. And the rear bumper turned out to be more than just a bumper, it also works as a side step for getting in and out comfortably. The front bumper was miserable originally. Just look, we kept only its ends since they have a nice shape, then reinforced it with the box section, made it wider and fabricated a brand new central piece.
Bury me in work clothes, that's a fact, I made my peace. A poor man digs his own grave, one shovel full at a time, but he digs it standing on his feet.
My lord, it looks gorgeous! The result speaks for itself. We chose a dark gray metallic for some contrast elements like the bumpers and this radiator grille. By the way, this grille was extremely flimsy, so we straightened and reinforced it as well. Honestly, we loved the result. And in the next episode we are going to completely rebuild the new engine and take it for a ride. Oh no, wait, this body desperately needs custom fenders. So my father went to the trouble of making them from scratch. We used styrofoam and fiberglass. The final shapes were coated with textured paint to give them a plastic-like finish. I think it's the best custom body part my dad has ever made. From then on, the body could be considered finished. Well, that's the way the piston turns.